heavy weapons clone trooper was a type of clone trooper that was used to provide anti-vehicle support to standard infantry. When well positioned, they could take out many enemies. Hello and welcome to Centurions Corner, and this is the last custom of 2020. So let's take a closer look at this guy and get into his review. So here he is, the Phase 2 Heavy Trooper Senate Guard, looking fantastic. I'm actually quite glad how he turned out, to be honest. The red, it's just a really nice gloss, just shines, pops well. The weathering, maybe I've gone over a little bit too much, but it's just me. I don't really like weathering my figures up too much. It's just, I feel sometimes I'm taking it too far away from Hasbro and stuff like that, but I tried to match him as close as possible to the actual Battlefront game. So as we know, this was a bootleg clone trooper from AliExpress, and we have a new head from Clone Base Customs, which is in the description down below where you can actually purchase these. So yeah, it's just looking great. The actual gloss is just showing off greatly, down to his armour on there around. A few extra bits I've added, extra paints. I've thickened up these lines and all that since the making of. But as you will do, we'll look back at our work and then go forward from there. And yeah, just dirtied him right up down to his splats and everything all over his shoes, with his actual Gatling gun. So this isn't a 3D print. This is actually a 3.75 Clone Wars gun from way back when. I think it was like 2008 these guns come out. So they start off life, which is just like this, just very plain, very boring. You still got the spring action inside there for the rocket launcher, but yeah, just adding a bit of paint to it brings it up to life. So as you can see from there. So the paints on this one I always use Tamira. So we used dark copper XF28 for the bits inside and on that kind of sort of like coil part here. Then over the actual gun itself, I used this one here, which is LP19. It's a liquor paint. So I was talking to the guy in the model shop, like, does this set well? Does it fit well on the thing? He said actually it probably sticks better than your acrylic paint, because what you find with Tamira, they only do certain in sprays and certain in pots, but they started to put them in pots now, which would you find in spray, so it gives you 10 times more colours out there. So yeah, so I used that over the gun, so darken it up just to give it off that bit of a kind of shine on there. And then with a dry brush I used the aluminium XF16 just to get all that parts in there. And this is great as well if you're going to do a Mandalorian custom for your jetpack. It's a great colour as well for that. So to the actual clone trooper itself, I used the red, which was X7 on there, and the only other colours that I did use to fix it up. So we have a gloss inside his visor, which was the semi-gloss black X18, and then around on the back and at the front here we do have that kind of sort of what I call the Imperial kind of grey, as all the Stormtroopers and all that have it. And I use on that is a dark sea grey XF54, and it's a great kind of thing, and it's a good one for a Commander Wolf. So all over that I just used a few extra weathering techniques that I've never used before. I just kind of like mixing things up and just sort of trying things. So again, I did use my acrylic wash, which is only like 5% water and 5% paint, and the 95% water. So you just sort of get it all watery, you just dab it down on a bit of paper and get as much as the paint off as possible, and just drag it over your figure and just try and add on those details. But on the actual picture himself from the game, he's got this lots of speckles kind of all over his sort of armour and stuff like that. So what I did, I just dabbed white on a sponge until it was start going dry, and then I just added it on just over, and you actually got that speckled look as well. And just to add on a bit of darkness as well around the speckles, I did it with the same with black. And that was kind of it. That's how I got him there, and he's now complete. And it makes me sad that he is the last of 2020, but you know, we've got 2021 around the corner, and you never know, there might be some extra phase 2s to join this guy, because I really enjoyed making him, and I think he's a little bit lonely. So I think having a nice infantry, specialist and officer standing next to him, I think will really make this guy pop, to be honest. And then we can have Commander Wolf next to him. And obviously when you get a new helmet as well, you actually end up with a spare phased one. So who knows where this might go. So thank you so much for joining me on this one. It's not the last that you're going to be seeing of the clones this year, because I will, now I've finished off this guy's review, we will be going through the entire collection of my clone troopers with Hasbro and obviously my customs. As some of the Hasbro ones I have touched up a little bit and stuff like that, so we can see what we've done for the year. So again, thank you so much for all this. Thank you for subscribing, commenting, following me on Instagram and all those parts there. And don't forget, Clone Base Customs, for without him this wouldn't have happened. So thank you so much for once again. I'll see you soon.